Hello, this is Veritas Malefica with a general energy reading for the Autumn Equinox, also known as Mabon. I'm going to go ahead and start to pull some cards. I've already started to connect into the energy. I got a cracking sensation, like an egg being cracked or foundation being cracked, like things are kind of being broken apart and you're seeing what needs to stay and what needs to go. I do feel a nice energy shift coming for the fall season, but that does not come without issue or trouble. Um, for me, fall is all about following suit with nature and letting the things go and the things shed that need to be shed, that are dead weight, so to speak. Listening to the trees, listening to nature, and grounding. Do we want those? I have a feeling it was just that one. These cards have been a bit tricky for me. It is a fairy and magical creature deck, and fairies are a little tricky. So she's been a little wily. I've been trying to debut her for a while, and she's let me know when the time is right. And apparently it was right now. I didn't think it was going to happen. And I think that's all we're going to get from the fairy deck. Am I meant to look at the bottom? I'm not. All right. So whatever was on the bottom is not part of this reading. And that's all we're going to get, which is fine. Thank you. Thank you, fairies. Queen Maeve is very prominent for this particular season, for this particular holiday. So thank you for showing through and allowing me to pull cards from this deck. So what we have here is the Four of Wands coming out. For me, this is very much about grounding. And in this particular message, what I'm getting is the central theme that is going on here is finding calm within the chaos, finding your inner home, your inner sanctum, no matter what's going on around you. And I think that's going to be really important for this season. Um, Finding joy in the things that you do have and not worrying so much about what you don't have. Having gratitude, which is very important for this holiday, for those things that are there, that are structured, that do keep you together and keep you feeling safe. Um, Even when life gets crazy, we still have these solid boundaries and solid manifestations and solid areas that we can use to build upon and to find calm within the midst of change and to find safety and structure and control within the midst of change, which it does look like things are going to be changing. This is going to be a very active time or moving into an active time where you will be taking action on moving forward. We collectively will be taking action on moving forward, which I find this funny that this is coming in, this Knight of Wands for future energy. We're coming up on a big amount of activity and motion as it pertains to what's going on in the political sphere right now. The American election is going to affect a lot for all of us, and we are moving towards a culmination point of action and manifestation and things beginning to happen. So it does look like things are going to be starting to speed up. So I think that's why it's important for right now to really be grounded and find that home base, the things that make you feel, comforted and like you have a safe space, a safe home, a control space that you can operate out of in the midst of all of this flux and change. And for some of you, this may be like, you know, an actual change in, your job or your home or something like that. But I just feel like collectively, energetically, we are needing to really kind of just hone in on that home space, and that coming from within rather than it being like a physical manifestation of home, if you will. Finding your spiritual home and your emotional home, and making sure that that is on track and that that is okay. And that's going to allow us to operate from a balanced place where we're active and getting stuff done. And it is a little like, you know, crazy, but this allows us to kind of keep our cool during this next period that is going to be a little bit more fast and rapid and intense. In the past here, we have the Hermit in reverse. Uh, for me, I feel like this has been kind of, hmm, how is this card coming off to me? This is saying I'm. It's like a. How do I describe this? It's like a. I've been looking outside of myself for all of the answers. I've been seeking through other people and through outside things my inner balance. And that's what that current energy is saying, is like now we're into a point where we realize, okay, this this needs to come from within. We can't look to others for our own individual truth, and no one else is going to be able to help you in the long run. In the end, the only person who can really show up for you and who can really be there is you. You have to do the work. And I think you come to this realization that that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a few more cards. We're going to go with Crow Tarot. Let's elaborate a bit on the Hermit. Thank you. Very slowly came out there. The Lovers, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This seems to be a common theme. I've been seeing this card come up in my readings and other readings. I just keep seeing the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, and the Seven of Pentacles in general is something to think about. And this is what's coming up really strongly for me in this particular time period and the past leading into the present. This card is very much about, what am I investing into and what is it giving back to me? What is that return on investment? It's really, really important to think about that, and to think about, where are my passions leading to? What the things that I want to get done and the things that I'm excited about, the things that I am wanting to accomplish, what am I actually putting into that? And how is that helping me? Because I think what you're realizing is that the thing that you thought, which is outside of yourself actually, um, was something, it's not worth it at all. And there's a big shift in energy as we move forward. It feels like, with the Lovers, the World, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the World is also in reverse. It's like we've been holding on to a pipe dream, something that we thought was going to work out, something that we thought was like, oh, this is everything that I've wanted to do. This is giving me life. This is giving me a reason to to get up in the morning. This is my passion, but you've been following a passion that is not in line with your inner sense of being, or you've been seeking it outside of yourself when actually it's within. And you've realized that you've invested in something that is not worth it, and you are moving away from this. I think you've woken up to this fact, and you are realizing, shit, I've been putting so much into this thing that is no longer really doing it for me, and it's something I need to move away from, which is positive. This change is always positive. And just like I said, it's like looking at, what do I need to release? What do I need to drop? Like the trees that are beginning to have their leaves change and fall, let the dead leaves fall off, let them drop. Let's get some more on the Four of Wands. I feel like I need to shuffle. Four of Wands: home, structure, stability, control, happiness, marriage, potentially. Combining of forces. I said combining of forces, and the King of Wands came out. Queen of Cups, Page of Swords in reverse, and we have a card that is face down. Let's see. Yeah, it does feel like a marriage, a combination of sorts between two opposing forces. But in their opposition, they work together. And I think that's what you're doing. You're realizing combining the light with the dark is going to help you move forward. There's a combination of forces, a realizing I can balance these opposites and use that to create from a balanced space, and that will bring me my security, that will bring me my stability, that will bring me a safe space to create from and to hold on to during this season of change. Because things are changing, and it feels a little like frantic. It feels a little like there's a lot going on. It feels like there's too many ideas floating around. And again, this is all external. And it's like you've clung to like one of these crazy harebrained ideas and then realized, wait a second, that doesn't work. That's not how I need to create things. I need to come up with the idea. I need to come at it with this is me coming with it. This feels very outside of this situation. And you're sitting here with complete balance, complete understanding after having gone through what you've gone through. And now you're able to discern that every little thing that comes to you is not something that you should accept. You should accept what comes from within and reflects back to you what is within. And we're looking at the horizon. We're considering these ideas that come in. We're coming at things with a very balanced sort of viewpoint. And I really, really like this. The Three of Wands is about searching for a hope and following that hope. It's about the beginning of a creation process, moving forward into manifestation. And I love that these two balance. We have water, we have fire, we have action, we have passivity, we have masculine, we have feminine. And these two elements just seem to be going together really well, even though they are opposites. So it said saying opposites attract. You're balancing each other out, whether this is a relationship or just two sides of your own psyche, or a partnership that you have going on. It seems like you're able to discern by leaning on that duality what's for you, what's not, and looking at, okay, what's the goal for the future? And how do I get there? All right, let's see more about the future here with the Knight of Wands. There's going to be a bit of chaos. But the Four of Wands coming out again. You'll stay strong. You will stay controlled. You will stay in that home space. The Four of Wands is repeating in this deck again. And again, that duality essence is coming forward. Just remember to keep that with you at all times, because it does look like there's some chaos going on. Whatever is feeding your heart space is very important at this time. Whatever feels most important in terms of your emotions and your relationships with others, I think is really important. And your home in general, the home space. Make sure you have that sanctuary set up in a physical sense, in a material sense, and most importantly, in a spiritual and emotional sense. Having that comfort and that scenario going on is going to help you to navigate through what's going on here. I see, how do I read this? We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. This is false promises. We have the Four of Cups. That's kind of like a stagnant energy. And we have Strength in reverse, which for me is not following one's passions, being a bit wishy-washy, and not being in control of the beast within, so to speak. Letting your animalistic, dark shadow side take control of things. I feel like this is an external energy. This is just kind of like, this is coming in. And now that I'm saying that, this is really what this is saying, is that this is just an outside, this is what's going to be going on in the world, is just things are going to come crashing, barreling in. False promises, stagnation, things not moving forward, and just, the worst of people being shown. And I do feel like this has a lot to do with election season. And, it's going to get crazy. It's already crazy. It's going to get crazier. And there's no way for that to not affect us all. It affects the whole world. And what this outcome will be, I have no idea. I feel like it's way too early to tell that. But I do feel like it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to feel like people are trying to tell you complete lies, and nobody's doing anything to actually move anything forward. And there's just a lot of bickering, infighting, and craziness going on. I'm going to get a few more tapping into tarot cats to kind of explain that situation a bit further. But I think the main message is to just really make sure your inner sanctum is set up and safe. Yeah, we're not going to get a lot of answers on this, but I saw that Temperance, Knight of Cups behind that coming out again in reverse. It's important to maintain your inner balance, because other people are just going to be feeding you a bunch of garbage, a bunch of false hopes, a bunch of craziness. And it's going to feel like we're not moving forward, we're not going into anything. But I think the main message is to take that information and balance it out with what you do know and what you do have in your life, and to alchemize this into a positive situation for yourself and for the world. I am being guided to read the card at the bottom of the deck for this one. Something's being cleared out. This is a major shearing season, a major harvest season. We are clearing out a lot of garbage, and we just have to allow that process to happen. And again, just making sure that we're taking time to be grateful and balanced in our own situation, in our own place that makes us feel like I am home, I am safe, I am secure. Those around you that are close to you that provide that feeling, and you provide that feeling for them. Um, pay attention to the things that make you feel balanced and operate from that lens, because there's just going to be a lot of craziness in the world. Maintain that balance and always choose the middle way. Always choose the middle way. All right, I'm going to use the fourth deck that I have on the table. And let's just get a few closing cards for this Mabon season, this autumn equinox, this shift. Interesting. There's a lot coming out there. I did not anticipate that many cards to come through. Some illusions are going to be disrupted. Good news is the end of it is quite happy, but we're in for a rocky time. We're in for a very rocky time. First card I saw that came out was the Emperor in reverse, and the Ten of Wands. I feel like somebody might be getting knocked off their throne. And there's a hesitancy to move away. There's a hesitancy to move away. There's a hesitancy to let go. There's a hesitancy to move forward. And this is going to bring out all of the worst qualities in the masculine frame. That over domineering, control, needing to have everything exactly how we want, and not taking no for an answer, and just being super, super domineering and controlling, unwilling to listen to the other, unwilling to change, unwilling to move forward, unwilling to do anything other than what is their own agenda. But this end is quickly coming in. And we have the Six of Cups. We have balance returning. Illusions will be broken, and balance and fairness looks like it will return. Coming from a space of, how do I word that? Like very soft, childlike energy, like a nostalgic energy, like keeping in mind, oh, I care for this person because that person has been in my life for such a long time. It's just a very emotional mindset, but a balanced emotional mindset. And I think we return to balance by this honestly kind of reads as something like violently happening. So I don't want to read too much into that because I'm really not into that stuff. I would very much recommend during this time period focusing on what it is that makes you happy and makes you feel complete, makes you feel safe, makes you feel balanced. The middle path is strongly encouraged. And I think that's interesting because I think that's what politics needs at this point is, a little bit more emotion and a little bit more balance and a little bit more looking at the middle path, um, not swinging so violently from light to dark. It's about combining the two elements to understand both sides and to work with them together. So that's what I've got. I'm going to leave it there. It's quite a few cards, and we went pretty in depth there. But yeah, I like that message. It's pure chaos in the outside world, but remember that your balance comes from your inner sanctum, and remember to keep that tended to and looked after above all things. Perfect. That's what I've got. And I hope you like this series of reading. I'm going to keep this going for all of the Sabbats of the year. So the next one will be for my favorite, Samhain. Awesome. If you liked this video, resonated with any of the messages, please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. And there's information listed in the description box below. If you are interested in a personal reading, I do offer those on a limited basis. I have the information in the description box. But thank you so much. This is Veritas Malefica, and I'll be back soon with more readings.